Thank you and good afternoon. World Vision team, I'm Ivon. I'm going to show you a little demonstration which can be used also as a tutorial for your fleet management system. Basically, we decided to use a plug-and-play system to avoid some complexities that can damage your fuel tank. So we basically choose a plug-and-play system. It's easy deployment and compacted reports and quite interesting technology. So basically, what we're going to do is a demonstration. First of all, we're going to show you guys how to have the best reporting systems so your fleet managers all over the countries can actually deploy their vehicles in correlation with the statistical data and the reporting of events associated with their fleets. So the first condition is the computer must have an internet connection. Why? Because it's a web-based application. So the first thing to do, you are going to open your browser, any browser. It can be Internet Explorer, it can be Google Chrome, Mozilla, anything. So I'm going to put a URL so I can go into the web server. And you can see the URL is this one. The speed will depend on your internet connection, of course, on your internet connection. So you can see that now it's actually loading the web interface. It takes a few seconds or few minutes depending on your internet connection, and bingo, here we have the interface, your working environment. You have a few buttons on top: maintenance, workplace, inbox, reports. On the right side you have your user credentials, and then you have your options like vehicles, users, places, fuel, events, and miscellaneous. So we are interested first in going into our workplace. So we click on workplace. And you can see the system start loading your working environment. You have a map here, and you have another sub-menu here, very interesting with different options that you have here. Now we are going to go to vehicles, because first step is to identify your group of vehicles. So you can see here we have created a group called Cambia Ambulances, composed of 6 ambulances. So we're going to select Cambia Ambulances. Immediately you can see that the environment of the workplace has been populated. The ambulances that are presently with the engine on are identified by green dots. The ones that are engine off are identified by red dots. You have the vehicle identifier, you have the registration of the vehicle, you have the different events types, we talk about it later. We have the position and the time of the vehicle, and actually the last position of the vehicle can be seen here. And we can now do some very interesting things. First, we can choose to plot the vehicles. By pressing on the control key on your keyboard, you can select the vehicles that you want to plot. Alright? So at this time we are going to plot those vehicles. So we click on, we come down here, we say selected plot. And suddenly you can see the map is being populated. And you can see here is an interactive map that is showing you where these vehicles are. And you can see we have them here. Those are the vehicles that we wanted to see. They are there. Okay? You can zoom the map and have better visibility on the vehicles. Okay? Alright. So this is a way. We want to know exactly where they are. We click on the vehicle and we have the position of the vehicle. Northern part of Sierra Leone, somewhere in Cambia, and another one also in Cambia. So let's go back and let's see what are the wonders that we can do with this system. Now let's say, for example, we want to see all vehicles. Let's say, for example, we want to see the vehicles, including the vehicles that are not part of Cambia. So we have to click on all vehicles. Let's choose a vehicle and let's see what we can do with this vehicle. Let's say we want to know the trips that this vehicle have done today. So we select the vehicle, we click on trips. We can choose between different dates, let's say today, and we search. And immediately we can see that all the trips done by these vehicles are here. Okay, and the last trip on top, and go in a decremental way. So you can see here the last trip was at 2:38. It started Cambia, it ends somewhere in Cambia. So this is quite interesting. So let's see, for example, actually I'm interested in seeing the trips that this vehicle did during the current week. So let's click on it, let's click on search. And we can see here all the trips that this vehicle actually did during the current week. Okay, you can see all the trips here. We can go to another vehicle, and then we can also see the current trips for this particular vehicle. Now we see an interesting thing here. We see that this vehicle, for example, went somewhere in Guinea. So it's quite interesting. So we're going to see if we can actually play back the trip. So we select the trip. Okay. We plot the trip on the map. And bingo, you can see the trip right there. And what is interesting about this technology is that we can actually try to play the trip. So we come on the play section here, we reduce the speed so it can go on a normal plot, and we say, okay, play this trip for me. And we can see the whole trip by the vehicle. You can see the vehicle going, the trip. And this was the trip done by the vehicle. If you want to play the trip again, you come back, you can reduce the speed if it went too fast. Okay, you stop it. Alright, and then we can replay the trip again. Okay, and then you can see it now, the whole trip going very slow. And what is interesting, you can see actually the map adjusting to it, to the trip. So you don't have to do anything. And here we go. That's the replay of a complete trip. So if your driver told you that he did not go to Cambia or this and that, you can actually demonstrate the trip. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. And each of these dots represent a specific point where the unit transmitted on the GSM, on the GPRS network. From beginning to the end of a trip. Now, if you want to know where the trip started or where the trip ended, it's also very, very easy. You can see here, he stopped a little bit here. Alright? Maybe to drink some water. And then he came in. So the final destination is actually here in Cambia. You can see the final destination of the trip. Okay? And you can see that the trip actually started, okay? The trip started somewhere, okay, here. So the departure point was northern Cambia, and ending point was somewhere in Kindia, Guinea. So this is to see that actually the system can do a lot of wonders. Now, I know everyone is concerned about the reporting capabilities of the system. So let's try to go on vehicles, all vehicles, and let's look at the reports. Now this is quite interesting. It's interesting because we have a diversity of reports. For example, we are going to do vehicle group reports. That's a very nice way because we have created a group called Cambia Ambulances. So it's the easiest way. It will do the report for the whole entire fleet in basically 1 second. Let's say we want to know the vehicle. We have different reports: fuel consumption, fuel trends, fuel entries, speed reports, summary of the trips and everything. So let's go to vehicle trip summary. So we click on vehicle trip summary. We choose our vehicle group, which is Cambia ambulances. For today, for example, or we want to know yesterday, current week, previous month, current month. I mean, we have a list of choice. Let's say today, for example. And what's interesting here, we can view the report immediately. And the web interface will be populated by the reports. It takes a few seconds because, as you know, the system has to go capture the information. And you can see here we have a summary of the reports. We can import it actually on PDF and ready. As you can see here, we have imported this on PDF, and we come downstairs. You can see it downloaded on PDF here. We click and bingo, we have a report ready to be printed. Ready to be printed and to be saved. So you can see here the nature of the report. It's very explicit, and you have all the information you would like to know about today ambulances during this period of time in Cambia district. You have the number of trips done by each ambulances. You can see here the number of trips. Okay, the total distance traveled per ambulances, which is actually very good for your maintenance, and to know which ambulances need to go change the oil or need to rest, or what driver drove too long hours, too many hours. So you can see you have all these things, and you have the dates here and more. You have also the readings on the odometer. So from here you know which ambulances has been on the road for a very extensive period of time and need to be rested. Going back, we can also have vehicle speeding report. Let's click on it, and you can see you can choose again your date. Let's say today. Let's see who is actually driving crazy out there in Cambia. So we can actually see here again the speeding reports of the vehicles. You can see here, you can see all the speeding of today. Wow, these guys are going crazy out there. But it's understandable when we see that all the ambulances are traveling above 100 kilometers an hour. All the ambulances you can see here, and the duration of the trips are also here. You can see they are very short trips, okay? Very short trips between villages to the health centers. We can also click it and we can import it to PDF. It's downloading here, and then ready to be sent, ready to be printed. This is really wonderful. So now let's look at something I actually love, which is basically the option of scheduling a report. You see, you can actually, which I already did for a few of you, you can go to the vehicle trip, okay? But what is interesting here, we can schedule the reports. Look at here. We can say, schedule the report, okay? Now, what's interesting here is that you have to tell him where to send the reports. So you can see, for example, reports, vehicle group reports. I want vehicle, let's say for example, vehicle trip summary. Okay. And actually, let's go for another kind of report. Let's go for vehicle activity summary, for example. Yeah. So we want an activity summary, a summary of all the activities of the vehicle. And I want this to be on Cambia today, but I want to schedule in such a way that it goes to the emails of some gentleman. Look at here. Some emails directly to your email, and you have a choice here to know when you want to receive them. This is wonderful. It means what? It means that the fleet manager doesn't even have to touch the system. He can go directly to his inbox every day at 8 AM, and the fleet manager has already in the inbox, he will find automated reports already linked and routed to the inbox. Okay, so you click to save and bingo, it is done. It is done. It is ready. The system is so intelligent enough to send those reports. I know you're going to love this. Now let's look for the fuel a little bit, because I know you have some concerns for the fuel, but you're going to see the magic that this system can do in terms of fuel. Alright? What we have to do in terms of fuel, we have to go to maintenance. Okay? And then we go to fuel. We can go to fuel, but first of all, to have a fuel report, you need to do your fuel entry. So you click on fuel, okay, on this option here, fuel. You say, I want to enter a specific amount of fuel that was purchased on a vehicle today. You add the fuel entry. You choose the time period you want, the vehicle that you want, the date and everything. I can give you an example. For example, on Tuesday, let's look at this fuel entry right here. On Tuesday, the 24th, the vehicle of the CEO on this date, total amount of fuel entry. This was entered in the system, the amount of fuel. So if I want to know the reports of a fuel after the fuel entry has been done by the fleet manager, it's so easy and so wonderful. The only thing I have to do is what? I come to the fuel consumption summary. I choose the vehicle that I want the fuel to be on today. Okay? And I click my view. And I will definitely see the fuel summary. Bingo right here. For that particular day. And you can see the fuel usage. But more than that, fuel consumption, we can say fuel entry summary, which is great. I can go there and say, okay, give me for this particular vehicle the fuel entry for the current week, for example. And I can see the current week fuel entries that were done. And you can see here, those are the fuel entries. The quantity was about 40 liters. And it was done twice. Okay? Now more than that, total quantity 40 liters, total cost, it was here. Which is very, very, very good. Fuel consumption trend. Let me see if we can have something there. Let's select, actually, let's go for fuel reports here to be more specific. Fuel entry details. We can actually here now select actually the vehicle that we want. In this case, let's say I want this vehicle. I want the fuel entry details for the current week. I click view and I will have the fuel entry for the current week. So basically, those are the dates, those are the quantities, those are the costs, and this is the total amount done this week, as you can see, for that period of time. And this is the cost. Okay? So this is wonderful. Fuel consumption detail. Let's look at it. Okay, let's select our vehicle. Let's say for the current week again. And let's see what happens. It's loading. Okay, and bingo! Here we go. You can see the whole trend of fuel consumption. Okay? Alright, you can see that this fuel actually was put, the fuelage that was filled in the system, batch file was not used yet. So there's no reason why they can tell me that there's no fuel. That fuel should be there because I can see fuel used while driving, nothing. So those 40 liters must be in the vehicle right now. So it's interesting actually to see that. Let's go back to fuel entry details because I love this fuel part. Okay, let's go back to fuel entry. You can see. So we have input on these days those quantities of fuel, it costs this amount of fuel. But when we come to the fuel consumption detail, this is interesting because that's how you're going to catch people stealing fuel. Alright? It's loading and you will see the fuel consumption details, okay, in a minute. Alright. My internet connection is a little slow, that's why it takes some time to go. Some time to go. Okay? Alright. Let's try to refresh that. Alright, while this is happening, let's look at some other very interesting issues. Let's go to the workplace. You can see I had, because on the workplace there's something interesting that people are actually having a problem with. Let's see, how do I multiple plots an individual plot? So basically, if I want to plot these vehicles, let's just refresh this page, just to kind of go back and show you guys the techniques on the mapping. There's some very interesting techniques that I want you guys to be aware of. Alright, let's just close these pages. My computer is a little bit slow. Apologize for that. Okay. So let me just close this. Let's go back again to the interface. Alright, let's just press enter. Let's load the page. And let's see actually what happens. Around in my office, usually around this time, that's where the load is. So we have the welcome page again here, the Mzone welcome page. Okay, we are going to log in on version 5. We're going to log in on version 5. Okay, takes some few seconds to load. Let's go back to our working environment. Let's go, for example, on very interesting issue, which is vehicles again. We're going to go vehicles group. We are going to choose Cambia. Okay, it's going to load all the vehicles of Cambia, their position, their present position, everything. But what I want to show you guys is this. Some users have a problem with the interactive mapping. It's so cool, it's so nice. Watch this. If I want to know where this vehicle is, this particular vehicle here, for example, actually, okay, fine. Let's use this vehicle here. Where is it? I click on plot. Immediately, there is a zooming on the map. And you can do your zooming, look, very nice. You can play with the map as you feel like it. You see? You can play with the map as you feel like it. Okay, you can drag it to the left, drag it to the right. You can play as you feel it. You want to know the position? Click on it. That's all. But what is really great here is what is the tracking mechanism. I'm going to show you guys something. Watch this. If I go to workplace and I go to, for example, I'm going to search for vehicle. Let me use this vehicle here, for example. I say, wow, I cannot find it. Why? Because it's not part of this group. That's a security measure. So we're going to go in this group and we're going to say, show me the vehicles of this group. Okay. Wow. Look at this. If I choose, for example, this vehicle, and I say, let me see where is this driver. So I'm going to press on trips. Today. The last time I saw him, I sent him somewhere on Tower Hill. Let me see what he did. So I'm going to select it here. I am going to come and say, I want a plot on the graph. Bingo, immediately the trip is plotted. I magnify it by my mouse look. Shoop, I am there. Okay, I don't see it. I say, where is it? I come back. It's there. Okay, so I am going to see what happened. And you can see as I go deep, I have more details on the map. More details. As you go deeper, you have more details on the map. So I said, let me see what trip is this. So I am going to do what? I am going to play the trip to see if this guy did not go to his house or somewhere before actually go and do what he's supposed to do. So I'm going to reduce the speed here to 20 and I'm going to play the trip. And look what happened now. As I'm playing the trip, okay, and I'm watching now what happened. Okay, I expanded and here is the trip again. He went there, passed by Leicester Road, he continued, as you can see, and I can pause at any time to know where is this location. And bingo, he passed a western area somewhere. Here was another place, you can see. So he took the western side. Let's continue. What a beautiful replay of a trip. You can see, actually that's my CEO. I'm tracking him. I'm tracking him because I need to pick up a check. So I want to be sure he doesn't run away, he doesn't go somewhere to Guinea. That was a joke. Alright, so you can see the trip going. I didn't know my CEO was driving so fast. Oh, it's probably the driver. It's probably the driver. So you can see, going to cut right. Okay, he's going to go up probably this way. On, what is this place? Do you know this place, Emmanuel?
Yes. This place is around tea planting area.
Okay, Emmanuel is next to me. Emmanuel is my assistant, he's next to me. And actually Emmanuel is doing something very nice. He is actually monitoring this on his mobile phone. He's actually monitoring it on his mobile phone. And you can see that it's actually very precise. This is a powerful tool, especially in cases of accident. We can determine exactly where the accident occurred. So I'm going to stop this because I know you guys are busy guys, but this is a powerful tool. Now the next aspect that we are going to concentrate is on how to put your mobile phone, the unit being tracked by mobile phones. And for this I'm going to transfer to my assistant, and I'm going to take the camera and he is going to talk about the mobile phone.
Well, in using the mobile phone, like for example, if you're using smartphone, you need to go to App Store and try to download the driver. You need to go to App Store.
Let's see the screen of your phone.
Just let me go there, just a minute please. You need to go to App Store and download the driver. And the driver is called Drive Profiler. 1 second please. Let me just go through. It's called Drive Profiler. And this is the icon, the Drive Profiler icon. So what you need to do after downloading this from our App Store, then you click on this. It takes a little bit of time to open. Now it's open. Just as my boss was saying, if you want to know the vehicles, because this is a mobile phone, you just need to click vehicle. These are the vehicles.
So as you can see, those are all the vehicles in Cambia.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you need to track any one of them, just come to this. It takes a little bit of time to open depending on the internet connection. And for example, if you want to know the locations, this is the location. Now this particular vehicle that I've selected, this is where it was, and it is right now, sir, because now it's around Potloko area according to the map. So if you want to find how it reaches this particular position, you click find route.
Wow, this is wonderful. This is really wonderful because this is going to show you actually the path taken by the vehicle to get to that location. It's going to take a few minutes.
Yes.
The map is to adjust. You can bring it a little bit up so we can see actually the map, the path of the vehicle. And you can see the path.
So if you want to know the path of the vehicle was from Port Loko. This is Port Loko. If you want to know the route, now look at where the vehicle passes.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff.
And
guys.
now the vehicle is in Freetown.
Wow.
If you want to know where in Freetown, just try to zoom it and you'll see exactly where in Freetown they are.
Yes, just as on the laptop.
Yes.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. You can see in Freetown. As you go deeper in the map, you have more details of the map. Guys, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Now guys, thank you very much. Any other questions? Deployment time is immediate. We wanted to show you guys the capabilities of our system so you guys can actually see what are the things you can do. You do not have to worry about reports. Atlas communication will automatize everything, will be routed to the inbox of the entities that are responsible for the fleet management. Thank you very much for using Atlas tracking system.